Hey, what's going on, people? This is LB the Realist with Surrealistic Studios, where the realist surreal. Thank you for joining me tonight, this morning, or it'll probably be this morning when I post this. So I'm on Facebook scrolling through, going through the wormhole, and I come across this story. And I'll go ahead and read a little bit from it. It's gonna blow your fucking minds. It's just incredible. Okay, and this is the same. This is in America. Okay, 3Ks. Okay. So this is from USA Today, July 17th, 2018. This was a few months back. Daycare provider who hanged toddler in her basement sentenced to probation. Natalia Correa received 10 years probation on Monday for hanging a toddler in her daycare and running over two men with her minivan before attempting suicide. She had faced 13 years in prison. This was Minneapolis. A former daycare provider convicted of hanging a toddler has been sentenced to probation. All of the victims of the this was in November 2016, and they just made a judgment in July. Okay, all of the victims in the November 2016 incident survived their injuries. Through an interpreter, Correa asked for forgiveness. I apologize, and I don't know if you will be able to forgive me. I have no excuse for what I did, she said. Judge Jay Quam said this is one of the hardest cases he's ever had, adding, if this was a normal case, given everything that happened, he would give the most severe sentence that he could, if it was a normal case. But he says this was not a normal case. Correa sobbed as the prosecutor ran through the details of what happened. She hung him by the neck with a homemade noose in her basement in Minneapolis. This case is about that little boy who very well could have taken his last breath in that basement, Assistant County Attorney Christina Warren said. Correa had pleaded guilty to attempted murder and criminal vehicular operation. Correa's attorney argued the cause was mental illness brought on by abuse. This offense was aggravated, if not wholly caused, by abuse of Natalia's husband, defense attorney Brockton Hunter said. Hunter provided the judge with recordings they say shows her husband's anger. Correa told the judge, "Please help me back to my children." The prosecutor argued that mental illness is not a reason to give Correa probation instead of prison. It is not that the mentally ill shouldn't go to prison. The Department of Corrections is incredibly well equipped to handle these needs of the mentally ill, Warren said. The sentencing was a continuation of proceedings that began in May. At that time, Claire and Jennifer Booth, the mothers of the toddler, gave emotional victim impact statements in court. Based on prior actions in history, I would not feel comfortable with simply probation because everybody that has testified today has said that they trusted her with their children. Well, you're fine and you're trustworthy and you're caring until you're not, Claire Booth said on May 23rd. In May, Dennis Correa testified his mother suffered both physical and mental abuse in Ukraine and here in America. Dennis said that his mother told him she had suicidal thoughts, and a week before the incident told him she was worried she might hurt someone else, but her husband would not allow her to speak up. Joseph Sabir, who saved the child from Correa's basement, testified that he could tell she was not acting herself and told him to call the police. So that one's kind of unclear. She told him to call the police? I believe what transpired that day was not a reflection of her and who she was. From everything I've gathered from people, with a lot of medical care and treatment and support, I don't think she poses a risk to the public or her children, Sabir said in May. Judge Quam also handed down a 183-month stayed prison sentence if she violates probation. Correa will be on house arrest for a couple of months until the rest of probation details are determined. She could be released as early as Monday. Following the sentence, Jennifer Booth said, "Our family is looking forward to moving on. We have been fortunate to have a supportive healing community around us. We hope that Natalia is able to move forward in her own healing journey, and hope she gets the help she needs. Mm. Mm. That's just incredible, right? I mean, I just had to take a second there to just think about it while I'm scrolling through this story. So Jennifer Booth is one of the mothers of the toddler that was hanged or hung in the basement. And in the end here, it says, Jennifer Booth said, our family is looking forward to moving on. We have been fortunate to have a supportive healing community around us. We hope that Natalia is able to move forward in her own healing journey and hope she gets the help she needs. So, I don't know if you guys heard about this story already. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. This lady is actually from the Ukraine, and she doesn't speak English. Now, I want you to imagine if this lady was an African American female that actually spoke English. Do you think they would have given her 10 years of probation? Or do you think they would have sentenced her to prison? What this story tells me is that here in America with 3Ks, they would rather give a Ukrainian woman that does not speak English probation over giving an 81-year-old blind man you know what I'm saying? Like they give her probation, they give Bill Cosby 3 to 10. That's unbelievable. Unfucking believable. I did a video last night or earlier this morning, and I mentioned that there was a man that raped a little girl, a 3-year-old baby girl. And he receives probation. So there's this pattern of probation for fair-skinned people. But when it comes to dark-skinned people, black-skinned people, black people, we often get the harshest sentencing. Fucking believable. Unfucking believable. I'm just at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. And there's so many people that don't see a problem with this. I guess, you wonder why there's so much anger in the black community. When we see stories like this, I mean, I don't understand how you cannot understand where our anger comes from. I mean, I understand how you cannot understand, but you could definitely see why. We had a black president. We have black entrepreneurs, black businessmen that are incredibly successful. we have black business owners, and it would seem as though black people as a whole have come a long way, and we have. But have we come far enough? Hell no. We are in 2018, and we have yet to see true justice for the black man and woman here in this country. No reparations, no public apology, not even a fucking gift card. We get told to not worry about race and stop talking about race and color. We get told that racism is no longer in existence in 2018, or it's not as prevalent as it was. Oh, it's very much prevalent. It's just not in the open like it used to be. Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's very much so in the open. And they catch that shit all the time on camera, actually. We just had a modern day lynching of Bill Cosby. They gave him 3 to 10 years for allegedly not drugging and raping 60 plus women. No, this is for one woman that said he gave her Benadryl pills. She became incapacitated, couldn't move. And he, didn't rape her, but touched her breast. $3 to 10 years. An 81-year-old blind black man. That's how much they think of us in this country. It don't matter how much money you got, what kind of impact you had on the world, on the country, on people's hearts and minds. All of that goes out the window. You're just a nigga to them. At the end of the day, you are still an N-word. I hope it changes, people. I really do. I really do hope that one day something happens to just change everything. Because this ain't it, Chief. This is not it. This is not justice. Maybe if Bill Cosby would have went in court crying, sobbing, and speaking a different language, maybe if he was a middle-aged white woman, he would have received probation as well. But unfortunately. All right, guys. Until the next time, remember to love, remember to peace. Remember, keep spreading that enlightenment, keep fighting. I'll see you on the next one.